Welcome to Goober Time with Dr. Chris Chismoore, hosted by Tom and Griffin.
We are your hosts, Tom and Griffin.
Unfortunately, our illustrious friend, Dr. Chris Chismoore, is away on his important research and unable to host a podcast this week.
But fear not, dear listener, because he has left us in charge, and we are going to try to do a really good job of a podcast.
This week, Dr. Chismoore has asked us to talk about
magicians.
And if you heard that sound, dear listener, that's the sound of the podcast officially beginning to begin.
Yes, we have cracked open our bubblies, the strawberry sunset, strawberry, kiwi, pineapple flavors, and other natural flavors. And this is Goober Time with Dr. Chris Chismoore. But this week it's hosted by Tom and Griffin again.
We're trying so hard to get him back. We're looking high and low for time in his schedule. We also are his assistants, and there's just no time in Chris's schedule.
No, he's so busy this week. This week he actually told me he's in Greenwich, England.
Yeah.
The spot where they famous Greenwich Mean Time, studying time and global time zones.
Where it all started. They say Ethiopia is the cradle of civilization, but Greenwich, England is the cradle of time.
He's in the cradle of time because he's trying to make a calendar that will appeal to guys. He's trying to make a calendar that guys will use. A calendar that one guy will put on his, even if he can even get one guy to put it on his wall and write plans in it. Yes. Write out a month of plans. Yes. And now, Tom, do you think that's like for work or like at the office calendar or at the home calendar, or is there a difference? It's definitely home, social, and a little bit of like office calendar, and that men should have hobbies that make them money, right? And you need to plan for those. A lot of guys, they make calendars with sexy women on them and women in bikinis, and that gets guys to hang them up, but to actually make plans. I'd say they're looking at they have bottom side calendar blindness is what it's called. Yes, exactly. They're looking at the top side of that calendar. Yes. But they're not looking at that little grid down there. Yes, exactly. And they're not interacting with the grid. So Chris is looking specifically at how to get men to interact with that calendar grid, digitally or in IRL. Or physically. And I'll say this, fellas, this is why the women are beating the socks off us right now. Mm-hmm. This is why women are kicking our ass in college. And they're closing that pay gap, which I know a lot of you don't want to have happen. Okay? Did you say closing the pig app? Did you say the pig app? Of all the just take one beat and just think of all the things I could have said. Do you think that would be available on the list? No. It just sounded. It just said. What did you say? I was hoping you'd say yes. Oh. I said the pay gap. Oh, the pay gap. The gender pay gap. Oh, okay. So they're closing that up, and it's because they're more efficient. They have calendars. Let me tell you, I've seen the calendars of women. They're using these calendars beautifully. Incredible handwriting. Plans, dates, even like coffee. They're putting coffee down, and that lets them maximize their time. And just imagine if that technology got into the hand of the fellas. Yeah, I think a lot of low-value men try and outsource their calendars by either not doing it or getting an assistant. When they get to a certain level, they say, I don't want to schedule my calendar anymore, but there's something so good about putting something in your calendar and sending a meeting invite to a friend or a lover. Now, would you say not doing it is the outsourcing of the unemployed man? Yeah. I think it might be. Yeah. And the high value man is still outsourcing it, and you got to it sounds like we're trying to sell an actual calendar. And, we're not. And now that I'm thinking about it, we're not, but let's kind of get that on the back burner. Though I do know I have a friend, and you may have met him too, that makes a very successful calendar that men would like. I've met him too. He's an acquaintance at best. Tommy Siegel. That's right. I couldn't remember his name. Yes, he is in a band. He is a talented guitarist, but he also makes the really accurate birds calendar. And actually, I'm now remembering, I bought that calendar for my sister for Christmas, but I didn't want it to get delivered to my mom's house because I didn't want my sister to see it before I got there and know what the present was. So I had it sent to a friend's house as if it's like, fun calendar. Not the craziest gift in the world to be keeping it under wraps. And I told my friends, hey, I had a calendar sent to your house. And they said, oh, thank you. And from their perspective, I just thought it was a good idea for them to have a calendar. Yeah. So I sent them one unprompted. And I just didn't explain enough about that I was trying to hide the funny calendar. Mm-hmm. And it is a funny calendar. It's got really good illustrations of birds because he's a birder, but then they all have very voluptuous human asses. You know what? And I'm wondering, does Asher Perlman's
Does he have a calendar? I feel like he does.
Yeah, probably. His are more just funny cartoons.
Funny cartoons on top, organizational flow on bottom.
But they're great calendars, but it's still as intriguing as the visuals are. We still got to find a way for men to interact with that grid.
So Chris is working
and that's
on
what Chris is trying to do. So sadly he can't be here, but we'll gladly host for him again because we know he's doing important work, and we can see in our analytics that we're getting listeners. We're getting listeners.
We know
just
we're
me
getting
and Griffin.
listeners.
Just me and Griffin know we're getting listeners and viewers like you, and we're getting listeners from some pretty interesting locations. We got 10 downloads from Hong Kong. I saw today, which is pretty cool.
I'd say that's politically brave.
Yeah, politically brave to be downloading Goober Time with Dr. Chris Chismoore in Hong Kong.
Hosted by Tom and Griffin, of course.
Yeah, hosted by Tom and Griffin.
In Hong Kong. Who knows? That could reignite those riots that were happening a few years ago where everybody's passing around how to do the riots right or whatever.
Yeah. Riot tips.
Riot tips for Hong Kong. Wow.
That would be a good episode.
Post-rock album name. Riot tips for Hong Kong.
Yeah, that is a good post-rock album name.
I don't know what that was sort of just a weird guitar solo.
Or a song, just a song title.
And I'll tell you, you're looking at the digital analytics.
Yeah.
I'm finding out who's listening via actual mail.
Oh, really?
Yes, my mother sent me some Polaroid film, and on the package, out the outside of the packaging was, I think, just quotes of things I had said on the podcast.
That is very sweet.
It was very sweet, and if it hadn't come from my mom, it would be incredibly a creepy package to get things you've said written on mail.
Yes, well, I was going to say eventually you're going to start getting mail from real listeners because we will get your actual address.
No, we won't.
I will dox your
Bleeping this out. I'm careful not to point the camera too far out that window so that fucking geolocator guy can't figure out where we are. Though he might have an idea. I guess we have given him a city, neighborhood, and a few cross streets.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, I've definitely dropped a few cross streets. At work, here's a funny doxing story. At work, at my actual job, I had taken a screenshot of something and it had my actual address in it. And I was showing my manager, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I found on this screen. And she was like, is this your real address? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you shouldn't have that up there. I was like, why does it matter? The company knows my address. Everyone at my company, my address. You could just look up my profile and you can find my address.
So if there's somebody at your company, you can just look up. You say you find as Tom is wont to do, find a cute sales girl.
No,
he learns her name from the placard on her desk, never introduces himself to her. And you could just find her address?
No. Like people like me, guys like you can't just search any employee's address, but I'm like, you're my man. Any manager could easily just see the personal information of people they report to. And I'm like, who? Okay, so one of my coworkers is going to know that I live in Los Angeles. I'm fine with that.
I guess I get that.
Me famously, not worried about being doxxed or having people creep on me. But then, maybe there will be a day where that becomes a concern. Anyway,
and I hope to get you there.
Yeah. Let's.
I don't want your star doesn't necessarily need to rise any higher. I just want to get your security threat up.
Yeah. Star stays the same, horizontally moves into security threat.
Yeah. It's the guys coming up from behind you that are coming. Yeah. That's just that number's rising. Anyways, today
Chris did say he's like, I'm trying to find a calendar, find ways to make calendar the grid appealing to men.
We got that.
So we want you to talk about what we can learn from magicians and optimizing magicians. So today we're talking about magicians and what we can learn from them, how to optimize them, because it's important for men to see magic and interact with magic at various points in their life. I feel like every man, while he is becoming a man, when he's a boy, he goes through a magic phase.
I went through a magic phase. It sounds like you went through a magic phase.
I definitely went through a magic phase.
I think some of my childhood trauma is I was around guys who didn't go through a magic phase.
Yes, that's a problem.
It'd be nice. Did you have other guys who were going through a magic phase when you were?
Not at all. And I think it stunts a man in a certain way.
Can you imagine? You have one of you're going through a magic phase. You just saw, I don't know, some movie, The Prestige. I don't know what kicks off the magic phase.
Yeah, I mean, we were like 16 when that movie came out.
Mind.
So, but I could have. You can go through a magic phase.
I just started getting books about Harry Houdini. I don't know where that came from. I think you're just sort of introduced to magic at some point through children's literature and magicians, and you become curious. But can you imagine having another young man, or even a group of young men who are wanting to do magic?
Yeah, that would be awesome. A magician's guild.
A magician's guild in 4th grade.
Maybe some older boys to mentor you, a magic mentor.
Right.
Maybe a much older man who would mentor you in magic.
A much older man who would mentor you in magic. That's the sophomore follow-up to, what is it, Tips for
Riot Tips for Hong
Tips
Kong.
for Hong Kong.
A much older man who mentors you in magic.
And it doesn't, that one falls flat.
Yeah, that one does fall flat. It was only 3.5 minutes long and it needed to be 24 minutes.
Can you imagine? That would have been incredible. I was probably, I don't know, let's say 5th grade. Do you pronounce the F when you say 5th?
You can.
The F, by the F, I mean the second F.
Yeah.
5th. Anyways, when I started, I feel like wanting to get like, the little buy a magic trick that's it's set up so it's so easy to do.
Yes. Those sucked. Those kind of turned me off to magic because I was like, I don't want to just buy something that's already set up to be a trick.
And this is the difference between you and I did.
Really?
I wanted that. I just wanted I wanted the ability. I wanted to know how to do it, and I didn't have anybody teaching me other than books. Hard to learn magic from books. I tried to.
Yeah.
Reading books, and you're just like, card trick?
It may be surprising to some listeners, but we didn't have YouTube. We couldn't just Google magic tricks on YouTube and watch all the best magic tricks on YouTube. We had to read them from books. Some of you young listeners might not know that. People grew up without the internet.
Tom's starting to drool. He's so hungry.
Okay. That's over. But yeah. No, I feel the same way. I was like, it is really hard to learn magic from a book because you're reading and they show illustrations. I tried to read because I was like, I don't want to just buy something that's already set up for a trick or buy a bad pack of gum that's already made to be a trick.
Gotcha.
Or something like that. I wanted to learn sleight of hand. I wanted to learn how to do magic myself.
Yeah, I'd say you're much more disciplined than I am. If that's not already clear to the listener.
I didn't want someone to buy me a fish. I wanted them to teach me how to fish.
Right. I wanted somebody to buy me a fish that if you cut it open, $1 comes out, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, how'd you do that?"
That's one of the best tricks I've ever seen. Is you you cut open the raw fish and there's $1 inside.
I mean, I saw David Copperfield at the Ryman, TPAC, probably when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. And I think he closed with that.
Yeah.
I think he said, "Does anybody have one of those fish?" It was. I was starting to mix it up with the Nashville Predators throwing catfish on the ice. Anyways, I'm not going to go too far down that fake joke.
but then in this, I remember seeing David Copperfield do that joke when he played the IU Auditorium, or do that trick.
Yes.
And he cut open the fish and the $1 fell out and everybody clapped. And he said, "Now, audience, you may think that the magic of this trick is that the fish has $1 in it and that I somehow magically put it. But the magic of this trick is that I find fishes that eat dollars." And then everyone gave him a standing ovation, and a woman killed herself. She was so excited.
She committed seppuku.
Because,
Carey seppuku.
Yeah, I don't know where Harry Carey
comes
from. Yeah, there's no way it's pronounced Harry Carey, right?
Harry Carey?
Yeah, because it's just we just pronounce it because of the guy. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, woman killed herself.
Yeah,
that's almost a biblical
and
joke, or magic trick. It's like sort of a parable. Dear audience, for it is not but that I have made the fish have the $1, but it is because I can find that.
Yeah, it's just because I know the only place where there are $1-eating fish.
That is
that is the work of the Lord.
Roald Dahl presents the Bible.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
You saw David. I feel like
I did see David Copperfield, though.
Splintering off in a million directions because we're so excited about magic.
Yeah.
You saw David Copperfield?
I did see David Copperfield at the IU Auditorium when I was like 8 years old, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. I saw him, I think at TPAC, some big auditorium with friends and family, and one of the family members, what am I trying to say? One of the people who we were there with got pulled up on stage for, I think, one of the final numbers. Numbers? I don't know what they call them. That's kind of an interesting question.
Yeah.
Acts.
Yeah. Tricks.
And I guess tricks.
Illusions.
Yeah.
There's
it's
the
not
famous.
Pretty much not an interesting question at all. Everybody but me knew the answer to that.
Well, that's the famous Arrested Development joke of like, is like, they're not Job is like, they're not tricks, Michael. Tricks are what a whore does for money. They're illusions. Yeah. That's a good joke.
That's a really good joke. Anyways, he was one of the guys. He got pulled up and disappeared. And we didn't see him till after the show. It wasn't the very last thing. There was like a little bit more after that, because I remember being like, there's like 20 more minutes of this show.
Yeah.
Where's that guy? He just doesn't get to see.
Yeah.
I felt upset because he didn't get to see the rest of the show. And then afterwards, I think somebody asked him what happened, or like, and he was like, I don't really know. They either swore him to secrecy and he was like down to play, or they just disorient you so much and they maybe blindfold you immediately or something.
Yeah, they blindfold you immediately, or you just wherever you are, you just have a gun pointed at you and they're like, "Don't you fucking tell anybody."
Don't fucking tell anybody.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of your address. We got it from your work.
Yeah.
From a work presentation.
we found your work.
We found that work presentation.
With your address in it.
And if you fucking tell anybody, I'll kill whoever's at this address.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. And did that spark your love of magic, or was it?
I think I was already interested in magic, but I was just like, damn, as when you're a child, you're so easily influenced, and so you're immediately just like, yes, I love that, and now all I need to do is dedicate my life to becoming a magician.
Yes.
And like, it's okay to be an adult and be a magician, I think is what I learned from David Copperfield. I
was just so overwhelmed with the desire to do it that I get so excited by the thing that I want to accomplish that I forget sometimes about how the part where you have to learn how to do it.
Yeah,
and I think that's something about myself I'm sort of just now realizing. But that's very admirable of you to start learning from the books. Were you successful? Did you learn sleight of hand?
I did learn a little bit of sleight of hand. I learned a bunch of card tricks. That's like the most successful avenue, the most wide open road for me that I found was doing card tricks, and I liked it because you just used a regular deck of cards. There was nothing special about the deck of cards, nothing like rigged or whatever. You just used sleight of hand or like little tricks, or you set up the deck in a certain way so that it looked ordinary. And that to me was cooler because I'm like, okay, you show someone the deck, you say, does it look normal? And then you like distract them with one hand and then hide a card with another. Or you just do a simple, like, you're using actual psychology in a weird way of being like, oh, if I move my hand a lot or if I say something, then people will concentrate on what I say and not what I do.
Wow.
Which is the foundation of like a lot of magic and a lot of sleight of hand. And like you think you're above it until you start. Yeah. That's the foundation of a lot of
that's kind of what I default to anytime I get into a fist fight. If somebody's starting to fight me, I go way up here. Distract them with this. Oh, this might strike you. Snake might strike you. And then kick.
Yeah, that's
sucker punch.
Kind of the drunken master, drunken kung fu.
Is that part of it?
It's that you're so like the foundation of it is that like you're kind of drunk and the guy doesn't know, your opponent doesn't know where you're going to go next, and he's too focused on your movements, on your erratic movements that you can't really
much
understand.
Like the magician. The best magicians are the most erratic, they say.
Yeah.
Guy basically vibrating across the stage. You can't really tell what he's doing.
The mongooses of men.
The mongooses. Magicians famously the mongooses of men.
Yeah. In a way, they're just weird. They're weird. They're always weird guys.
And the audience is the snake in that scenario.
Yeah.
They're always weird guys becoming magicians.
Yeah, I think that's another hallmark of magicians, and another lesson we can learn from magician is that you must be weird and eccentric.
You've got to follow the weird. What's the phrase? I don't know. Let your freak flag fly. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yes.
Real quick, I had a question. I don't want to get. We're splintering off in a million ways, and it's good and it's fine.
Okay.
But I had something that I was interested in, which was you learning card magic and being able. So like the kids in my school, I feel like if magic tricks are like jokes, there's like the street joke that like everybody knows. That's like you hear and it's passed down. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the kids I knew and maybe even like camp counselors knew like card tricks that were like anybody could learn. I feel like we're like math based. Mm-hmm. Like if I just move enough things a certain number of times, it'll always be the right card.
Yeah.
And there was never any real sleight of hand. So I think that's very impressive that you were learning actual sleight of hand, because that seems quite difficult, especially for a kid to do. I remember reading books about magic, and I think I got to the actually doing it phase, but I got everything right up through that, and it was like you need to practice this in the mirror all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, I'm not going to do this 60 times in front of the mirror to try to get like the fingers right.
Yeah, I did that a lot. That I remember saying them practice in front of the mirror, and I would do it. And the hard thing is like, it's hard to practice in front of the mirror because you do kind of see. It's like what you're doing, so you see it. But I guess the point is to make it smooth and fluid so that other people don't see it. But then it's like, that's what makes magic even harder. Is it like, okay, cool, I can do it in front of a mirror. I know how to do it. Now I got to go to my parents. And then when you're a kid, it's like, that's all you can do it in front of. And then you got like, okay, well now I'll try and do it at school.
Neighborhood kids. But
then like, when you're the kid who starts doing magic when you're young, some kids are like, this is cool. But most kids are like, okay, you're weird. And all the girls in your class are going to be like, I'm not going to get into that guy.
I'll say this for any aspiring magicians out there listening to this, and I know there's a lot of you Australians, they're into the trick, not the magician. Because you had to be weird to get to the point to learn how to do the trick good.
Yep.
They love when they like you, they like the trick.
Yeah.
You're smelly. You wear the same, t-shirt that says, it's a black t-shirt that says security on it. You think that's kind of, makes you hard or something, hardcore, tough guy. They don't like that. You're going to have to doctor your image a little bit more. Yeah. But flip side of that, counterpoint, it's a great conversation starter. Party trick. Famously, party tricks are a good way to meet people.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it's like, when you're an adult and if you can do like one little magic trick at a party, that is great. Then people love it. But I
can never remember them.
But you can't identify yourself. You can't identify as a magician.
No, you just have to happen to be able to do that.
Yes.
And then you're not a magician. You're sort of a Renaissance man.
Yeah, but that is interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You're no longer freaky. You're no longer trying to recruit them into your polycule. You're interesting.
Yeah, you're eccentric.
And
you have a little bit of mystery to you.
You have a lot of mystery. You just did the magic trick, which is incredible. Would you say, here's one thought I had is sleight of hand like card tricks? Would you say that's the stand-up comedy of magic?
I'd say the stand-up comedy of magic is close-up magic.
Right. Okay. What's the difference between close-up magic and card? I thought that was card tricks.
Well, like sleight of hand, close-up magic is like anything it's like street magic. It's like David Blaine.
Right.
David Blaine got famous initially was doing like close-up street magic.
But is that not card tricks, or that's like more than card tricks?
He did card tricks, but it was more than card tricks. Yeah.
He was the thing that got him ahead of the rest is he did the dollar and the fish on the street.
Yeah, he kind of did.
He was the first to do it off the stage.
Yeah.
But is that like it's just anything goes?
Yes, anything goes in close-up magic. Yeah.
Okay.
It's less of like, to me, it's the stand-up of the magic world because it is more raw and like you have to be in front of people and you have to be physically close to people. Whereas like on a stage, it's like stage magic is really impressive, but you can rig it up anyway. You could rig the stage anyway. There can be trap doors. There can, you can
have props. You can have
Yeah, they have, and the audience doesn't have a 360-degree view. But I think David Blaine, it's like street magic. It's like there's cameras. People were all surrounding him.
It's sort of the most honest, most pure, most minimal magic. That's real magic.
That's real magic.
Do we think that's how magic started? Was street magic, or did it start on the stage?
No. I think magic.
A parlor trick.
I think magic started with like alchemy and shit back in like the ancient times.
Out of necessity. But they needed, they got themselves into a situation where they promised they could make something turn into gold.
Yeah.
Then they were like, fuck, how do I do this? It's out of necessity. If I don't do this right, he's going to chop my dick, balls, and neck off.
Yeah, I told the pharaoh.
I told the pharaoh or the king or whoever.
I told the pharaoh I could spin this hay into gold. And Rumpelstiltskin doesn't exist anymore, or doesn't exist
anymore
right now.
He went out of existence. I think he went out of his existence in like 1702.
We're 2,000 years before Rumpelstiltskin here, so we couldn't just barter with Rumpelstiltskin to turn the hay into gold.
Right. And so back into the corner, they got to figure out a way to make it look like they did the thing because, they're faced with the hard fact of reality. You can't the thing you promised to have happen, it can't happen.
No, it can't happen. So we have to figure out an illusion. We have to figure out a way to trick our pharaoh.
And some of those guys, just like evolution, some of those guys figured it out and they passed it on, let's say maybe to their kids or to their friends.
Yeah.
Some of those guys didn't figure it out and they got dick, balls, and neck chopped off.
Yes.
Sometimes all three.
Yeah. Do you think if you, what would be your trick if you were an ancient magician?
I was just thinking how, like,
I think I've got mine.
In that situation that I just described, if I had to just like figure it out on the fly, can you imagine the first guy to be like, fuck? I think they were just assuming the first guy was in like a high pressure situation of like, fuck, I got to figure this out right now.
Yeah, I think it's fuck, the pharaoh wants to be entertained and I got to entertain the pharaoh. And he's seen he either knows all my jokes or he's seen one or two tricks.
He's seen how I fall down so funny.
Yeah, he's seen how I fall down so funny, but he wants me to mature as an artist. The pharaoh wants me to mature as an artist.
Right. That's the pharaoh's impulse. That's the guiding impulse of every artistic career. Is deep down the pharaoh wants you to mature as an artist. And if you don't have that inner pharaoh artists, you're never going to mature. You need to have a guy who's willing to kill you who lives in your brain to make yourself mature. That's sort of just a quick note for the artists.
Yes.
What would be my card trick?
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, cards. You could really the thing about the thing about ancient magic is that it's very open. Like I was thinking about this a bit, and I think one of my trick would be turn a sexy lady into a leopard.
Wow.
Or a leopard into a sexy lady.
Wow, I forgot you can involve animals.
Yeah, you can involve animals, and I'm telling
you.
Ancient me knows pharaoh likes when exotic animals are involved.
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to say, I mean, mine's my go-to, my first thought here was, take the pharaoh's virginal daughter, cut her in half, put her back together. Because that's a story there. And there's tension and there's a lot of tension there because I've killed his daughter. His guards are at my throat.
Yeah.
And I had to, but, dear pharaoh, allow me to proceed.
Yes.
And then I put her right back together.
That's a great trick.
And he might still kill me because what was I doing with his daughter when he didn't see?
Yeah, that's very true. But you can say, she's actually still a virgin. You don't have to worry.
She's still a virgin. You don't have to worry. I don't have anything else to add to that. I don't know why I started repeating it.
That's okay. That's a great trick. That is a great, the tension, the build of the tension there is excellent.
That's classic. That's like a Far Side. If Gary Larson is using, if Jim Larson's drawing, if Gary Larson's drawing a magician, it's on the stage. He's cutting a woman in half.
Yeah,
that's classic magic.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. I like the leopard though.
Yeah,
because
leopard's a good one.
That's a lot of tension and a lot of Have you ever seen somebody do that?
No, but I assume that you could, and I've seen we're gonna replace people with doves and doves with people.
They're using beautiful
animals.
They're using beautiful and exotic animals. Do you think there have ever been any magicians that used like a duck?
Oh yeah.
Or like
I think I've seen a magician use a duck before. Yeah, I legitimately think I have.
I'm trying to think of like what's the most preposterous animal? A weasel.
Yeah, a weasel, mongoose.
A ferret would make sense. Mongoose.
Yeah, mongoose. You say, well, the mongooses are the magician of the animal world. Magicians are the mongoose of the human world. Is what we just said earlier.
You explain that to the mongoose.
Yeah.
To get him on your side.
And that's the magic trick is you're like, I'm able to convince this mongoose. My magic trick is that I'm able. Yeah. My magic trick is that I'm able to teach animals metaphors. And everyone's like, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Pharaoh likes that.
Pharaoh likes
that. But he said, but I want you to come back next week and I want you to have matured.
I need a new hour.
Yeah. I need a new hour of magic for Pharaoh.
I need a new Oh, Louis C.K., before he was doing all the jack-off stuff, he's coming up with a new hour comedy every year. That's nothing. Pharaoh's magician's got a new hour of tricks, flim-flams, and bamboozles every week.
Yeah, every week.
And if he doesn't, he's dead.
And do they receive any pay? I don't think so. I think they're just allowed to live in the Pharaoh's temple.
Yeah. I bet they get the... the amenities, the ambient amenities of Pharaoh's house. Mm-hmm. They're not outside. They're certainly not building those pyramids.
Yeah.
Do they have family? Wow. Does the ancient magician have family?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No. It's too risky.
Damn.
I don't think you can have a family as a magician, even in modern society.
And it's not just one. I'm thinking they're in competition with each other. You he's probably cycling. Pharaoh's probably cycling through magicians and buffoons and clowns or whatever.
Yeah.
These are all things I associate with sort of, European, kings and queens have clowns and so I've never considered the Egyptian clown or the Egyptian.
Oh, that's all I consider.
Doofus.
I think.
Let me tell you, you're living a great life. It feels nice to think about that.
I think a lot of the thoughts of the past for me are filtered through ancient Egypt, and when I kind of I think about another time, a historic time that would be cool to live in, it would be ancient Egypt.
I don't think about it enough. I think my understanding of it is so flavored by the hearing about it through the Bible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something about that just seems like I feel like I've stupidly I think I know enough about it, and now I'm realizing I've assumed I know enough about ancient Egypt most of my life.
Yeah.
And now I'm wishing I knew more.
They were around for a long time.
Incredible world to live in. Yes, and they're doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. Ancient Egypt was around for a long time, and there's a lot of stuff. Anytime, I think I've been in various cities. I was in Houston this was a long time ago, for the Houston Improv Festival, and I had a day to kill on the back end of the shows. And I went to a museum and just went to the Egyptology exhibit. And I feel like I've done that in cities where there's nothing to do. They probably have a cool thing on ancient Egypt, and then they just have all these artifacts, and you can listen and you can look at real shit from ancient Egypt. Hieroglyphs. There's a really cool
ancient grain ledgers.
Yeah, ancient grain ledgers. There was a really cool part of the exhibit where they were showing that they were okay, so they didn't just make a ledger, they didn't just freehand this, they would redline it, and they had actual redlined
what does that mean?
Grain ledgers, put red lines. They'd use light red ink to make sure that everything was correct before they went over it. And
redlining is somebody's giving it notes, somebody's opening up that Google.
It's similar to how if you're designing something, you have red lines or to help guide you.
Oh!
It's essentially that, but for writing, and they would be. It was really cool, and I didn't know they did that. Anyway. A bit of an aside, but
it's always incredible
very fascinating.
To me, not only how much you know about ancient Egypt, but how much more you know about corporate life in America than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give away too much about my job, but it is I do
You're an
design.
Egyptologist?
Yeah, I'm an Egyptologist. I'm traveling to and from Cairo week after week.
I'm an Egyptologist for Allstate Insurance. It's just most people don't realize companies need that, and it's a small department, but it's a necessary department.
I conjure all the ancient Egyptian algorithms for risk assessment, which they had a lot. That's a fact about ancient Egypt that they don't know.
Incredible. So I'm sitting next to a bona fide Egyptologist and magician, something I probably knew at one point in our relationship, but have since forgotten. That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. I can assess the risk of the Nile based on its current levels. For Allstate Insurance.
Yeah, there we go.
Whether it's going to flood or not. Whether it's going to start flowing south to north. No, north to south.
North to south.
Well, because it famously flows south to north.
Yeah, right. Well, and I'll know the end times are coming when it starts flowing side to side.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that's the good times.
Yeah.
When the Nile starts to boogie, that's when everything's fine.
Okay.
I was trying too hard for a soundbite there.
Okay, yeah. So we've already established we can learn a lot from magicians. I think that one of the other aspects of magicians that I've always been fascinated with is their fashion. When
Quite
Jordan
formal?
and I went to the Magic Castle, it's magicians want you to dress up. So there's a place in LA called the Magic Castle. It's pretty famous. It's a really cool old magic club. Very fun to
Currently
go to.
has termites.
That does not surprise me. And in order to get in, you have to be invited by a member of the Magic Castle, and then once you're invited, you have to dress up. And you have to wear something formal and weird.
It doesn't have to be weird. But
it doesn't have to be weird, but it's the place.
It's fun.
It's the only place I've ever worn my purple suit, my linen purple Joker suit that we got before my wedding.
Yes,
I went full Joker mode at the Magic Castle, which is one of the places where you're welcome to go full Joker mode.
They love it.
But anyway,
it's filled with guys like that.
And everyone is dressed insane.
Everyone's dressed crazy. It's bordering on steampunk, if not outright steampunk.
Yeah,
for the most part. I mean, you've seen magicians. What they're loving is the vest.
Yes, the vest, which is insane.
Because they love pockets. They love having extra secret pockets.
Yeah, they love pocket watches.
pocket squares.
The last magic trick that ever happened to me.
I was going to ask when the last one was you did, but this is interesting.
No, this is the last magic trick that ever happened to me. Was I don't know, maybe like 7-8 months ago, I was doing a small indie comedy show in Los Feliz, and I'd done some stand-up, and one of the closing acts was a magician. And he did a lot of cool tricks, but he did one where like he asked me a bunch of questions, and then he showed me like a pocket watch, and the pocket watch like he was like, this is my grandfather's pocket watch. And yes, it was cooler than what I'll be able to remember and describe, but
it was a cool pocket watch.
It eventually, it had my name on the back of his grandfather's like 1920s.
Engraved?
Yeah, engraved. My name engraved.
In metal.
Yeah, in metal, which was crazy.
And he was like, look at this cool coincidence.
Yeah, and he was like, this is a crazy coincidence because my grandfather has your name engraved on the back of this watch. And it said like Tom Fell. And I was like, that is wild.
But he presented it as like, isn't this crazy
coincidence? Yeah. He was like, isn't this...
That is crazy. So he's got an engraver somewhere on his person.
Yeah, it was engraved. And then the other trick that he did where I was like, this is so cool, and it was funny because he was a comedian magician.
You have to be a little bit funny.
Yes.
Even if it's corny, they're it's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody accepts the corny magician joke.
He had everyone, not everyone, but like everyone who was willing, like take a shot with him. He like had a bottle of tequila or rum. Sure. I forget what it was. And he was like, all right, everyone take a shot who wants to. And they took a shot, and it was clearly alcohol. And then he was like, okay, thank you, everybody. I'm still thirsty. And then proceeded to like just put the handle straight up to his mouth, and he drank the entire handle of liquor. And
I know about 9 guys in college who could do that.
Yeah, and not only is it like, okay, so there's obviously some sort of trick where it's not real liquor, but like, how did he make it not real liquor? And also how it's like just to drink, he just chugged it without a break. He didn't even pull it down from his lips
to take a breath.
He just it was like it was impressive just for him to drink all of that, just any liquid.
I like I like the version where that is the joke. He doesn't do the shot thing. He's just like, yo, check this out, and pulls out a pitcher of water and houses it. And Tom Fell's still impressed.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I was like, damn, I should get back into magic at 35 years old.
You should.
Because I was still 35 then too.
Right. And we need to timestamp this with your current date, current age.
And now I'm 36.
Wow.
What was the last magic trick you saw?
I think it was at the Magic Castle a year ago-ish. We went for my birthday, and I was really tired. I had like a fucked up flight back from Chicago, maybe. Mm-hmm. I just had a series, famously awful sleep constantly. And it was one of those nights, and I was in kind of a bad mood, and I was really stressed out. They don't make it easy for you. This is kind of going into just a full review of the Magic Castle. They don't make it easy for you to like know what to do or where to go. They're kind of like, explore. But if you don't show up to this room at 30 minutes to an hour before time, you'll not see anything here.
Yeah.
And if you don't plan it out, you won't see anything whatsoever. And we're not going to tell you where everything is.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly overwhelming.
But also they force you to eat dinner there. Their food is not that good, and it's incredibly expensive. And they're like, before you think that you can get away with just buying drinks, you have to eat our shitty dinner.
You have to eat the shitty food. And so I got overwhelmed and like kind of upset, which is, I guess a kind of classic me thing to do is I'm in Disneyland for weird guys, and I'm immediately pissed off because it's not organized well.
Because there's too much structure.
There's too much structure. Well, there's no structure. It's like sort of structure, but no structure. Anyways, it was really frustrating.
I'm at Disneyland for weird guys, and I'm already pissed off because there's too much structure. As a wild sentence.
We're probably going to sample that on one of those Riot Tips for Hong Kong. But so ended up having a pretty good time. It's so funny to see just a shit ton of magic in a concentrated way. And we ended the night down in the basement, or like the basement bar, and there was an older dude who had been around for forever. And he was doing I don't remember, he was doing like basic kind of close-up magic, here's the ball.
Bar
Actually,
magic.
Bar magic.
Yeah. Another fun genre of magic.
I love that you know the genres of magic.
Well, I went to the Magic Castle, and that was my favorite room, was the bar magic.
That was the best room. But he was doing like the ball's here. No, it isn't. It's over there. Actually, there's 4 balls. That sort of routine. He was doing it really well. But there was one part where I couldn't believe I saw him do the sleight of hand.
Uh-huh.
And it was so bald and uninteresting and plain. I couldn't believe that nobody saw it and that it worked and that I just happened to be like a little bit drunk and so I was like looking around. I didn't even feel it. It truly, he did this. He was like doing like, switching things around real quick. And then as he's switching one thing around with his right hand, he just very clearly takes his left hand and like slips it, but I'm trying to show whoever's watching this, slips it below the bar and flips it back up. And it's just like, it's as plain as me doing this right now. And somehow nobody saw the left hand. And I just was like, he just took it out. It was crazy. Damn. I couldn't believe. And people were like, yeah. But he was great. Yeah. Otherwise great. And there was one guy up there who was really, really funny. All of them are trying to be funny, and they're all kind of like, again, like Ren Fair kid funny. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's just like so much magician humor is very corny. But there was one dude who was like, I feel like he was in from like Brazil. Also, all their sets are really short. They're like 20 minutes. Yeah. Only the big dogs get an hour. Yeah. The guy who was there the night we went, the big dog that they let do like a 30 or 45 minute set was like literally a like 22-year-old kid. Wow. With like, he looked like a Mormon guy. And I was like, this guy's going to be corny. And he was incredible. That's awesome. I don't think there was like any headliner guy or like big. He was the headliner. And they said his name like you should know who he was. And I'm like, everyone's here. They will be happy with whoever. Yeah. It was mostly great. I'm not in a rush to go back, but I think I would. It's been about a year. I'd go back. Also, you have to be invited is like, invite's a strong word. It's like if you know a guy who knows a guy, you just have to get a coupon forwarded to you. Yeah, you do have to get a coupon forwarded to you. I got to go because I don't know any magicians. My neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor and he helped a guy avoid a parking ticket. And the guy was like, oh, thank you so much. And he said, by the way, I'm a member at the Magic Castle. So if you guys want to go, I'll send you an invite, and it can get you and 5 people in. Wow! And the other thing we should 5 people in. And who did you take, Tom? We went. It was me, Jordan, and our neighbors. Oh, they got the ticket, not you. Okay, yeah, never mind. And I went, and but I mean, the other thing that we should clarify is that you still have to pay. You have to get invited to pay them a lot of money and then eat their shitty dinner. But the magic is incredible, and it's very fun, and the building is really cool. And I also, just last little tidbit about the Magic Castle, at least when I went, was we were waiting in line out front and I heard somebody squeal. Yeah. Squee. And I turned, they kind of went squee, went full squee mode. And I turned around and out from the limo steps, whoops, forgot their names, the couple from Love on the Spectrum who loves Africa. Oh. And then one by one, they all step out. Yeah. Every damn body who at least was in Southern California. I don't know if David and Abby, and then the entire David and cast. Abby, the one who loves alcohol and sex. Danny, the Master of Swords, long blonde hair, James. I don't think South Carolina guy. Is he Chris? Maybe. Taylor? Really polite. No. Taylor. I don't know if he was there. And then there was like people like who were very clearly like Hollywood people with them, like shepherding them around. They weren't filming anything. They were just kind of having a night out. I think awesome. The guy who's like, invented the show was there, the showrunner or whatever. Oh, yeah. I think he was there. He's an Australian guy. Yeah, I think so. Steph had never seen the show and was like kind of annoyed that I was because I had just been watching it and I was like, Steph, they're here tonight. We have to be in whatever room they're watching. and she just like couldn't give a shit. Now I bet she kicking herself, loves Love on the Spectrum, has gone full ape shit for it. And she could have been in the room while they were watching Magic. And we did. That is insane to see the entire cast of Love on the Spectrum at the Magic Castle. Could not think of a better place to see them. God, they were a great audience. We walked into one room that wasn't really, it was like not a holding room, but it was like off to the side. I don't know, while like you're waiting for the other room to turn over. And there was somebody in there doing magic, but it was just for them. But because it was still like open to the public. So like we walked in and I just wanted to sit there and watch these people watch magic because they were so into it. And like, I called him Master of Swords. James was going like this to the magician. This is the table. He was nose first into the table, just staring at it. Of course, he wants to be like, I want to know how they do it. I'm gonna outsmart the magician. And I was worried he was going to, but it was short and sweet performance, and they were having the best time. It was really fun. And then Steph, we had to go watch, a real magic show somewhere, and I didn't see them ever again.
Damn. Well, I mean, that does kind of pull up an interesting thought that I had. A really important thought I had about magic is that, and a lesson to learn is that it's fun to be tricked and it's fun to be stupid. Like it's. I think when you watch magic, there is a bit of time when you go through that.
Tricked.
Yeah, allow yourself to be tricked. I think there's some people are like at a certain point in your life there is a way you approach magic, and like I want to see how it's done because I'm above this.
I'm not gonna let them get me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let them get me, but it's way more fun to be got and just clap like an idiot. Like, I mean, it sucks when you see the guy literally just take a ball and put it, like that kind of kills it. But
it did, but that was kind of interesting to me just because I'd never seen the magician doing the trick.
Yeah. But it's also fun just to be an idiot and be like, oh, yeah, it is magic. And to me, it's fun to believe in real magic for a little while. Or just fun to be tricked.
Personally, I have a hard time believing in real magic, but...
Well, I mean, like, believing in real magic as in, like, just being like, cool, this guy made this disappear, and it went away, and it came back.
It's incredible.
And I don't know how he did it, and I'm not going to try to figure it out, and I'm going to get another drink, and I'm going to go to the next room, and I'm going to look cool in my purple Joker suit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, of course.
Just ignorance is bliss.
It's just so fun to watch him do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about it, and I'm wishing I knew how to do them. I feel like there was a magician in Chicago. There were several, but there was one who did improv, who I feel like he taught me a trick once at the Annoyance Theater. Not Mick, but
John?
No, Lee.
Oh yeah, I know that. We don't need to say his last name.
I guess not, but he's like a performer, but whatever.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. He used to show me tricks all the time, and he would like show me like, here's how you do. It was like basic ass card tricks, and he taught me one, and it was so cool, and I knew how to do it, and I felt great. And then I forgot it.
He and Mick were the only people I knew who did magic as adults as a hobby.
Yeah.
And that is Mick Napier, who owns the Annoyance Theater. I feel like we can say that because he's kind of a public comedy guy.
He's incredibly public as far as Chicago comedians go.
Yeah. But he did have he had a lot of cool card tricks, and that was a fun thing about hanging out at the Annoyance bar. Is if he was around, he'd just be like, let me try out a bunch of new tricks on you, which was fun.
Really.
And you
fun.
were it's like you had 2 or 3 drinks, and I'm like, yeah, I just am going to let this old guy, he wasn't that old, but just like older guy, show me magic.
Yeah.
Strange old bald man who's funny and bizarre.
Yes. I think that's a good point, though, about just letting go and letting the show take you.
Yeah, don't try and figure it out.
Figure it out.
I mean, it's fun to like
it's a
maybe
lesson for life. It's good to be getting smarter and be obtaining skills and lessons and growing. But also sometimes it's fun to just enjoy it.
Yeah, don't try and figure it out.
Don't try to poke holes in the little nerds. The one thing they have, the one thing that makes them feel cool. Don't try to poke holes in it.
Yeah,
it's actually that makes you the bigger nerd. And don't try to act like it's not that cool.
Yeah, enjoy the trick.
It's okay. Enjoy the trick. Great lesson, Tom. Enjoy the trick.
Enjoy the trick. Yeah.
Do you have any other lessons from magicians?
I think
like to rattle off.
I think another one is that you don't have to grow up. You never have to grow up.
Sort of seems like the same one. How's it? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, as magicians, it's like at a certain point when you're a magician, you have to say, I'm going to keep doing magic, and I don't care that that magic is a children's hobby.
And I don't care. Yeah.
And
just
eventually,
like a comedian, you have to sort of keep pursuing it, and despite all evidence that you should give up.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's who wins eventually.
Yes, it's very true. But like comedy, comedy hasn't always been cool and should not be cool. But like stand-up comedy does have like if you tell people I went out to an open mic and I did stand-up comedy this week and everyone's like, oh, what?
I feel like stand-up comedy is always cool.
Yeah, stand-up comedy.
Improv and sketch maybe not
improv, but
even cool.
but it was cool for a little while. And there was a time like you could easily go to work and be like, yeah, I went to an improv class, and people would be like, okay. Didn't really think much of it. Yeah, but
now they're like, they want to hook up with you.
Yeah, whereas like Whereas like now, if you told your coworkers like, oh, I went to my magic class and I'm learning how to do magic tricks, everyone would be like, okay, I'm going to stay as far away from this guy as possible.
I feel like people would be like, that is so interesting. I guess it depends on who's doing it. If it's a guy who you're like, I can't believe he's
Yeah.
Not already in magic class, then yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there's people at work.
I think people would appreciate you more for if you were like magic. I went to my magic class or my magic group, and they're like, "Oh, Magic the Gathering," and you're like,
"Yeah,
and
that's what I think."
Yeah. Because
I'm taking
I think that's more acceptable.
Magic. Yeah,
that is more acceptable, I think, than being like an adult amateur magician.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah, damn. Are there any? I'm sure I would love to hear from any magicians late in life, coming to it late in life, who are 35 plus, and they're thinking, for the first time, I'm going to give it a shot. I've always wanted to. There's plenty of guys who go buy the nice car when they've made it, and they can kind of relax on the money thing, and they do home improvement. But I want to hear from the guy who's like, babe, I can't go out this weekend. I can't go to that
midlife crisis magician.
I got a new pack of beautiful cards, and I want to see just how well they spread across the velvet table.
Yeah, I gotta go downtown and try out my close-up magic.
Yeah. I'm going down to the magic club every night of the week.
Hey, babe, you hang out with the girls tonight. I'm going down to the magic club. I'm trying out a few new tricks. I gotta debut some of my new tricks.
If my spouse told me that, I'd think they were cheating on me.
Yeah. Hey, shut the fuck up, babe. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up for a second. I just had an idea for a new trick. I've got to write it down. Shut the fuck up for a second, babe.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I guess the bigger issue there is telling your partner, shut the fuck up for a second. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I have an idea for a big joke. Like, I was like just looking at the plant, and I just had an incredible idea about how to do something with the flower pot. Shut the fuck up.
Babe, shut the fuck up. I had a great idea about the flower pot.
Abuser magician.
Magician.
That's Tom's patented character. Abuser magician.
Abuser magician.
And you say you put that in your SNL writing packet this year?
Oh,
I just said abuser magician ?
These are my ideas I'd pitch to Colin Jost.
Do hypnotists count as magicians?
I think they do. I went through a hypnotist phase, and
really?
I did hypnotize a couple of my friends, and I went through it when I was like 16, 17.
That is a dangerous power for a 17-year-old to have.
Yeah, it was wild. It got me called out in my youth group. I started...
Tom's hypnotizing them.
Yeah.
Tom, I saw he made them look like a chicken or whatever.
Yeah. I ended up hypnotizing one or two of my friends we were just hanging out. It was like after our Bible study or whatever. And I ended up hypnotizing one or two of them, and then it started going around the youth group, and then the pastor called me out, and he said, you don't want to be like Tom Fell hypnotizing people. It's the devil's work. And said it was like satanic.
Yeah, okay. I kind of wish that there wasn't any satanic, issue there. Like it wasn't like the Bible thumping that was the problem. It's just guys, you don't want to be like Tom Fell. He's out there hypnotizing his peers.
Yes, if he would have just
That's so funny.
If he would have just said, you don't want to be like Tom Fell hypnotizing people. He's a weird guy and he shouldn't have moved here from Indiana. I think that would actually have stopped me from hypnotizing people. But the fact he was like, it's satanic. Yeah, but it would have been full bullying from a youth pastor, which is not beyond a lot of youth pastors.
No, it's sort of the least bad thing you can do.
But it would have at least made me be like, oh, this is just not cool. Whereas like the fact that he said it's satanic, I said, actually, it's science.
It's science.
And it made me want to do it more. And it also made me be like, oh, whoa, maybe religion is wrong about stuff.
Maybe it's wrong about a couple things because I like magic and it's making me feel bad about that.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
for you, internally standing your ground.
Yeah.
I assume you didn't speak up to the adult.
No, because it was in the middle. He just kind of mentioned it offhand and then went back about, going back into the Bible or maybe about his wife.
That's the coldest.
Yeah.
Just offhandedly dressing you down.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but we all talked about it afterwards and they're like, dude, I can't believe Paul called you out like that. And I said, I can't believe it either.
What'd you have the kids do? I've only seen a hypnotist one time. I was at a county fair. And it was like 5 people on stage clucking like a chicken and stuff like that.
I saw a hypnotist and it blew my mind. That kind of stuff is really hard to do, but I was able to get a mental tick where like anytime I snapped my fingers, my friend would like kick their leg like uncontrollably. And it lasted for like 15 minutes after I brought them out of a hypnotized state.
Are you doing
It's
swinging clock.
More of like meditation. It's kind of like walking people through a deep meditation, and it's like obviously people have to want to be hypnotized for it to work.
Yes.
But it's kind of just bringing someone into like a deep meditative state where they're open to suggestion, and they kind of want to be hypnotized, and it's not like they want to perform or be like, look at how silly I am, but it's just that they're open to it, and there's a little bit of science to it, but it's also like, a lot of performance, I think.
So social pressure?
It's social pressure, and I think the hypnotist has to select your marks. Like you can't, if someone's like, no, I'm not going to do it, you have to be like, hey, who wants to come up here? And what hypnotists, at least I have seen do, is like they'll bring up 15 people, they'll like try and hypnotize all 15, inevitably like 9. Like some people may make it through, other people may not. He may just be like, hey, we don't need you anymore, go back down.
Gotcha.
Like this isn't happening. You're like, you have stage fright, or you're just like not open to it. And then like he'll keep like the 5 people who are like deeply hypnotized and then make them do crazy stuff.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
No, I mean, I would like I would hypnotize myself just to be like, oh,
you can do that.
Can I go? Yeah, you can like put yourself in a state of deep meditation.
Okay, yeah, you can meditate, but is that the same as hypnotizing? There's a distinction
in
there.
A sense. Yeah, there is. They're kind of the same, but they can be different.
This is maybe the ultimate lesson, the ultimate like self-help or self-improvement lesson you can learn from the magicians is you can hypnotize yourself into believing that you can do anything, and if you do, you have better chances of doing it. You'll start doing those things. Can you hypnotize yourself into a better personality? Asking for a friend.
Maybe. And just like your Google searches, can you hypnotize yourself into a better personality? How can you change your personality?
Can I hypnotize myself to quit correcting my girlfriend?
Well, Griffin, in the spirit of the episode, I have a trick up my sleeve.
I forgot that I was going to be trying to do magic tricks to you the whole time.
Oh, damn. Okay. So,
well, Tom, check your pocket.
Oh my God, it's a wallet, and it has
and what a
$75 in it.
And go ahead and look at that driver's license, Tom. What a coincidence, because I believe it says.
It says that I am 5'2".
So how did I get that in there?
And it says my sex is yes, please. Now that's a good one.
And Tom demonstrating some magician's humor.
Yeah, that's magician's humor. Is sex? Yes, please. No. I have an actual trick.
I'm sure now. I
have an actual trick up my sleeve, and that trick is our first segment.
Bum. Tom's been concocting segments.
I had originally reserved for this for when you got too sentimental,
right,
or
too
angry, too sincere, sentimental, or angry.
The whole podcast is just sort of shepherding me towards comedy. My natural state is to be angry, sincere, or sentimental.
Yeah, that's what you said in the last episode. You said I always get too angry or sincere.
The one I deleted.
Yeah, the lost episode.
Let's see the segment.
So this is a segment. It's called Real Magic or Magic Trick.
Okay.
And I'm going to rapid fire some things, and I want you to say whether you think they're real magic or whether you think they're a magic trick.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so first up, single mothers.
Real magic.
Okay, perfect. Haunted paintings.
Magic trick.
Okay. Real magic or magic trick? How you can pee without pooping, but you can't poop without peeing.
Can't poop without peeing. Oh, yeah, damn. Well, if you could do that, that would be a magic trick. No comment on that, but that would be a magic trick.
If you could poop without peeing.
They call it they call it Tatson's dry poop, I believe is what it's called. It's I think it's written about in lots of magic texts. Tatson's dry poop, and it's a forbidden trick. You can never perform it on stage. Magicians do it for one another. Come in the stall. I finally mastered Tatson's dry heave.
Pharaoh would love that. I think if I was a Pharaoh, putting myself in Pharaoh's shoes, if I was Pharaoh and I said, what's my magician, what's Imhotep gonna come up with? What's Imhotep gonna come up with this week? And he came up and he said,
no, doesn't even explain the trick he's gonna do. Just drops trowel. Cranks out a loaf. And then looks at the Pharaoh expectantly. The Pharaoh has to piece it together, hold on. I didn't see a drop come out. Their mind is through the roof. Blown.
Yeah, mind blown.
Mind blown.
And then he says you can't do that trick again because one of my guards just committed seppuku. 1,000 years before seppuku existed.
I only have like 2 more guards left.
Yeah, I only have 2 more guards.
Pharaoh's days are numbered. So please don't do that for Pharaoh's sake.
Yeah.
That's such a good trick.
Okay, so yeah, Matt. Yeah, if you could do that, that was excellent. Okay, here we go. Real magic or magic trick? All the breeds of dogs there are.
Wow. Real magic. It's incredible some of what they've done.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's all. I mean, I know it's all science. But some of that is you're colliding together. Just there's some genomic magic going on there.
Yeah. There is. I'd say that's real magic.
And the mutts are the best.
Yeah.
Rescue don't shop don't adopt if you like to do that. But if you want to feel good about having not done that, then adopt, don't shop. I'm not going to shame you either way. The dogs are alive, and you have to take care of them.
Yeah, if you have a few $1,000s to burn, buying a dog that you like aesthetically is fun too. But if you want to feel better about yourself, adopting is better. And it's cheaper.
That's in quotes, and it's attributed to Dr. Mingo Salvatore, disgraced geneticist.
Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. The female orgasm, real magic or magic trick?
Magic trick.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say it's real magic.
I mean, I don't know how to do magic tricks, and so that's
okay. There's some classic magician.
If some guy's learning how to do that,
yeah,
give me a call.
Okay, here we go. Real magic or magic trick? Golf and professional golfers.
Honestly, real magic. Real magic. You see Tiger Woods out there treading the boards.
Yeah, treading the boards.
treading the blades of Bermuda grass.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bouncing it. They're bouncing there. You try to do any of that shit, it's so impossible. It's impossible with an IN.
Yeah, I wrote this down because I saw a clip of Rory McIlroy, I think it was, because he hit a golf ball out of the rough, and in hitting a golf ball out of the rough, he uncovered a buried golf ball that was beneath the divot that he hit, and it popped up. And I was just
magic.
Like, that is real magic. And then it got me thinking. I was like, I hate golf. I don't like watching it. Playing it is like kind of fun, but I'm not into it that much. But it is real magic. Like the fact that human beings can
do that,
are so good at putting a little thing through a hole, like whether it's basketball or golf, I think that's a real magic in our lives.
Those are the 2 sports that involve putting the little thing through the hole.
Yeah.
My grandfather was really good at golf, incredible at golf, and when we went to visit him and we played golf, it was like going to a magic show. I guess it's basic stuff if you are like into one of these guys into golf, wasting your. I just said my grandfather was incredible at golf, wasting your fucking life and getting good at golf. But he could make the ball spin backwards, side to side. It wouldn't go side to side after he hit it, but he could hit it to a point in the green. First off, knowing where he's going to hit it on the green, incredible. And then it'd be zoop to the left or zip to the. He coached a golf team, which don't know how that works. And I think his name appears in Jack. Which one is it? Nicholson?
Kerouac.
Jack Kerouac's book. Jack Kerouac's book, poems about golf. No,
that's cool.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. Yeah, right.
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. Has like an autobiography. I think
cool.
He mentioned because my grandfather beat him before Jack Nicklaus turned pro. I think
physically.
Beat the living shit out of him. Said, you ever do any of that fucking golf shit in front of my son again?
Grandpa Winsler beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, it won't be teeth that you're smiling with. It'll be golf balls because I'll have beat you with them.
I'll
face.
shove so many golf balls in your mouth.
No, yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it, but that's what my dad says.
Cool. Okay, here we go. Those bracelets that everyone wore for a while that they said helped them balance better. Real magic or magic trick?
I don't know about that.
You remember that? People wear these titanium bracelets and they say it helps my balance.
I don't like that.
Magic trick. I think it was a magic trick.
It helps them balance. Wait, at what point was everybody trying to balance better? What was going on in the world?
I don't know. It was like 2009.
Stuff you should know. We got to get something on that. You guys got to do a deep dive on why did everybody want to balance.
Okay, here we go. The Eisenhower interstate system. Real magic or magic trick?
Real magic. I'd say that's magic at the governmental level.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest feats of magic the United States has ever pulled off.
Yeah, better than all the coups and revolutions.
Better than installing dictators that are different than the other dictators. Better than convincing people to vote against their self-interests and get rid of healthcare and food stamps. Better than all of that.
They built the interstate so that Waffle House could thrive.
Yes.
And we could all get around.
And so that planes could land every couple of miles.
Yeah, which they have to do. That is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Okay, we got a little political there, so let's get back to basics.
Sorry, I started to get too sincere.
When the moon come up during the day, real magic or magic trick?
Real magic.
Okay.
Real magic. You see the big moon in the sky in the middle of the day, and it looks like the damn Death Star.
Yeah,
Something's hovering over us. Side note, that does remind me of a time during COVID or right before COVID. I was hanging out with a bunch of friends and cast members from the old Second City, and I think I mentioned moonrise. I said, well, the moon rises at this time. And everybody looked at me like I was from a different planet, like I was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about when the moon comes up at night? It was like a group, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 other people than myself were like livid with me for suggesting that sometimes the moon comes up in the middle of the
yeah.
These people in their 30s.
Yeah, well, it's real magic. A lot of people are ignorant to the fact that it's real magic.
There is real magic.
Okay, great. So
there is real magic.
Here we go. Dubai and the United Arab Emirates.
Magic trick, massive magic trick. You're being bamboozled. I feel like there was a chance I almost went there one. There was a chance Second City was going to send us there one summer, and then it fell through. They kind of continuously did that. They dangled that in front of my touring company.
Yeah, we're all going to send you to
the Dubai thing's coming back around, and we think it's going to happen.
Why would they want a bunch of young American comedians to come and do loose political satire?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
In Chicago alt comedy.
Yeah, because from what I can tell, Dubai is a soulless hellscape with no culture of its own, and it's basically a cruise ship they dredged out of the desert.
Yeah, that's true.
With sex workers.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Second to last. Building wealth through compounding interest and returns. Real magic or magic trick?
Real magic, brought to you by Dave Ramsey.
Yes. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. Pharaoh Dave Ramsey.
Thank you, Christian nationalist Dave
Ramsey.
I keep turning this all political.
Yeah, he's got some opinions. Okay. Finally, here we go. Real magic or magic trick? You've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
The final one in our first segment.
I'm really focusing on this one.
The all-new 2026 Kia Carnival MVP Hybrid, 3.5-liter V6 engine with 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, 17-inch alloy wheels with matte black finish, LED headlights, tri-zone auto climate control with auto defog system, 7-passenger seating, power sliding rear doors, rear privacy glass, 12.3 touchscreen display with navigation, Kia Connect, and Sirius XM satellite radio, rear view monitor with dynamic parking guidance, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, smart key with push button start and remote start, 6 USB-C ports, Wi-Fi hotspot, navigation-based smart cruise control with stop and go, driver assistance technology, auto emergency braking technology with pedestrian, cyclist, and junction turning detection, blind spot detection technology, rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist, lane keeping and following technology, safe exit assist, rear occupant alert, front and rear parking sensors, and highway driving assist. Real magic or magic trick? The all-new 2026 Kia Carnival MVP Hybrid.
Do you want to take that last line just because you flubbed it a little
bit?
Yeah. You're really going to want to hit that.
Real magic or magic trick? The all-new 2026 Kia Carnival MVP Hybrid.
Is it a minivan? Is that a limousine? That's the real magic. That's I can't believe how all that is in one affordable vehicle.
I want affordable crossover
CRV?
SUV hybrid.
Yeah, not CRV. Yeah. Wow.
All right, congratulations, Griffin. You have just completed the first ever segment on Goober Time with Dr. Chris Chismoore, hosted by Tom and Griffin. Real magic or magic trick?
I would say magic trick because I didn't want to be doing segments, and you tricked me into doing one.
Yeah, I did. And it added a lot of energy to the end of the show.
A lot of people are kind of they need to take a break from whatever they're doing. They're so amped up after hearing that.
Hey, and I think it gave us a few good clips. One of the best clips being the "you can poop without peeing, but you can't poop without peeing," a magic trick.
And while I participated in it, I do find that kind of humor uninteresting and disgusting. And I don't really want to put that out on the internet.
Okay, Mr. Elitist. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in, Citizen Soldier. You are loved. Shoulder.
You are loved, you are wise.
No one thinks like you.
Bobsled time. You are loved, you are wise. No one thinks like you. Bobsled
Welcome
time.
to the revolution. That's what Chris was.
I know, I'm sorry.
Goober Time is produced by me, Griffin, and Lauren Talmadge. Executive produced by Tim McGower. Associate producer Ahmed Stork and aspiring producer Little Jimmy Penn. Goober Time is engineered by Roger Goodrich and recorded at Detweiler Sound in Humboldt, Tupelo, Mississippi. Sound mixing by Reed Armband with music by Laser Monster, which is Griffin in the past. You can check it out at lasermonster.bandcamp.com. Tom's costume was provided by Padma Lakshmi with catering provided by Kokomo's Mungo Lounge. Kokomo's, if you can't take her here, you can't take her anywhere.